Alright, Spreaker, we up. We are live. I'm about to do the call-in number so that people can reach us. We're not on YouTube at this point in time till we come up with whatever's going around. Let me go. I don't believe it. Let me go and take that off so I ain't got to deal with this foolishness. It's buffering. I got, my internet is buffering, and it always want to play games with me. I'm not playing games today. All right, family, we starting the show. I'm almost an hour late, but of course I'm out doing some nation building activity, so you will forgive me. I know. To my computer. Check 1 2, check 1 2. Speaker, check 1. Let's check the sound. Let's use these settings. Click this off. We send out the updates. So we give people a couple minutes on why they
You are
join
the
us.
first participant on the call. Please hold while we wait for the others to join.
Who out there? Giving the family time to gather. Gathering of the greats. It's time for travel quotes. Post 1 went out. That look good. Yeah. Who out there? Let me know who out there. Throw the thumb up so I can see who you are. Who are you? Call-in lines are open. Need them to let the world know. Call-in lines are open. The discussion is about to go down. Make sure you're in a place to be. He put his feet on his foot on his feet. What the hell? Just unwind the family. Welcome, family. Yo, this is Brother Hot Tim coming at you live and direct. You just was listening to Hotep by Mr. Deity. So, hey, first I need to let you know you are now listening to Gye-Nyame Journey Media. That's right, this is Tribal Quotes, and you know that this is a Heart of a Simba production, where we strive to blow up your old paradigms. Yes, indeed. It was hard getting here. It was hard getting to where I am, but I got here. I have the energy. I am hydrating, and it's time for us to break down some of these proverbs. And family, today I got 3 thunderclaps from the Creator. 3 thunderclaps from the ancestors. Chop it up, we're going to flip it and rub it down, you know what I'm saying? And we're going to have an excellent conversation. I'm hoping some of y'all will be bold enough to take the challenge to call in and share your wisdom, because you never know what you may have to say, you never know how it may affect someone else. So stop hiding your light up under a bushel. Stop hiding your light up under a basket. I want you and I need you to feel free to share your wisdom. So now, let's go and look in the news. In the news, right? We have a business issue popping up in the news for those who may be old enough to remember. Right? We had
Done. Your alarm set for tomorrow at 5 p.m.
I didn't set no damn alarm. Damn, Google. Alright, what are you doing? Okay, I just want to make sure you ain't grabbing nothing over here. Alright, so now, Toys R Us has closed down. Toys R Us has closed down. You know what I'm saying? Because they was driven, Cleveland said why? Because they was driven out of business because their online presence is negligible. So they was able to be wiped out. So we're moving. We already are in a different type of economy, family, and we need to start preparing ourselves. But also, somewhere in America, a bridge collapsed, killing people, and this is a sign of the infrastructure of the United States is falling apart. And for maybe the last 30 or 40 years, we've been kicking that can down the road, just like we've been kicking the can of reparations down the road. You know what I'm saying? Or we've been allowing it to be kicked down the road. You know what I'm saying? And oftentimes, the things that we don't deal with directly, oftentimes turn around and bite us in our ass. And I'm trying to remember that as I move through my nation builder piece, because a lot of times I have a tendency to kind of be laid back and be like, whatever. You know what I'm saying? But it's becoming apparent to me, very apparent to me, that I may have to start crushing some shit right now. You know what I'm saying? Because we got a whole lot of fuckery going on. And I ain't gonna call it fuckery. What I'm gonna call it is, I don't even know what to call it. I'm not gonna call it fuckery, but what I'm gonna say is, we got a lot of shit going on. And I'm going to have to refer back to one of my stories. When you see shit, I see fertilizer. Shouts out to Brother Shaka. I see you online checking us out right now. I'm waiting for some people to call in. I'm about to pour me some of this ambrosia. I had some coffee and it has the caffeine, I could feel the caffeine popping around in my head. And after I got this rush earlier today, I was thinking about a new ambrosia. I'm going to have to go on and train me some scobies. But I got a brew that I think a lot of you might like. because the SCOBY works with the honey and the caffeine. And man, oh man, I just thought about it. I said, I got a brew that I think might just be right for you. You know what I'm saying?
This call is being recorded.
Hey, don't touch nothing. Look at me.
I can't see you, man. We online. What are you talking about?
Oh, what's going on there?
How you doing? We got somebody else on the line. We got two people on the line. Who else on the line?
Lady J.
What's up, Lady J? How are you doing? All right, so we about to kick it. I was waiting for the team. So we have 3 powerful proverbs. So before we even get started, let me ring the bell. All right, ladies and gentlemen, classes and sections, sit your ass down, grab you some water or whatever you are drinking, and get ready for a conversation that may change your life. All right, cool. I just got a message over the thing. Now, May 19th, we will be having the Malcolm X Festival over at the Millennium Community School at 3500 Refugee Road, right? May 19th. Lock in the date, family. Lock in the date, because we are going to have some dynamic performances is going down. Shouts out to you, Miss CeeLo. I see you in the house. We are putting it together. It's coming together slowly but surely. Some of y'all gonna be getting texts from me because we got to raise some funds. You know what I'm saying? We want to have fun. We got to raise some funds, right? If you want to have fun, you got to raise funds. So we're gonna be doing some fundraising, right? So it's about to go down. So we got about maybe a month, 2 months. You know what I'm saying? But actually, as far as planning, we only got a month. You know what I'm saying? So we're going to get some stuff lined up, and the Malcolm X celebration will be going down. So right now, well, I ain't going to say who the entertainment is yet. I'm going to get the flyer out and all those that's on the text, that's on the family text, right? You know what I'm saying? That responded to the family text. You're going to be getting information first, but I'm putting on the information, putting the fact that we're going to have food vendors. We're going to have all types of vendors coming out. We're going to have performances, live performances that's going to be going down. And we also going to have some serious discussion about Malcolm X. But we're going to make it fun. We're going to make it entertaining. We're going to make it family friendly, right? We're going to have poets, right? We're going to have, it's going down. Let me just say that. All right, so before we start the show, as we usually do, I'm going to open up the mic for those who were bold enough to call in. Brother Anubis is in the house. I see you. For those that were bold enough to call in, please go and let the world know how you feeling before we get into this, because these proverbs is going to change your life. I promise you. These proverbs have the strike of the ancestors. Yes, it does. So, ladies first. Lady J, what's going on your side of the world?
Everything's well. There's a bad connection.
Well, I told you that you can't be calling to my show with them flip phones no more. You know what I'm saying? Flip phones went out of, they stopped using those a long time ago, Sister J, Lady J. And you keep using them flip phones. You know what I'm saying? I'm
gonna hang up and call back.
Okay. All right. Brother Shaka, can you hear me?
I can hear you. You sound like you at the bottom of a fish tank, but I can hear you nonetheless.
Hell with you too. You want to hang up and call back in with your smart ass? You don't get me started. You singer. You lounge singer. No, you heard that?
Hey man, listen, Siri hear you talking shit too. I don't know what's going on. What kind of effect you got on? But I'm just saying, you sound like a mix between Max Headroom and Roger Troutman from where I'm at.
Oh, that's messed up. You's a funny mother, boy. Sometimes I can't tell whether you gonna be a comedian or But hold on, let me see if I can change that. Let's see. Maybe somebody messed with my button. Hold on.
Yeah.
Hold on. Check 1, check 2. How about that? Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? I guess not, right? Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Check 1, check 2. Check 1, check 2. Can you hear me now?
You making Chewbacca times on purpose?
Oh, hold on. All right, let me make one more adjustment for the people. I'm doing this for the people, not you. All right, but that's cool. You want to be funny. You want to be
all right.
Let's see. Let's try the microphone. Let's try this mic. Check 1, check 2. How's that? Is that better?
How y'all feel about that? We can roll with it. I'm good.
Can you hear it? All right, cool. So now, family, we're about to jump off into these proverbs. I was trying to wait for Lady J to come back, but Shaka, how things going on your end of the struggle?
Okay, what's the question?
I said, this your moment to say something. That you want to share something with the people, you better get it out there.
Oh man, I got a lot. I got a lot going on. I don't even know how to sit. Things are moving so fast ever since that thing on Monday. Let me tell you something, man. We need to listen. We need to listen to our kids more. We need to listen. We had the whole conversation on the other night about the George Washington thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
And last night, and I cannot make this up, man. Last night, my son said, "Dad, I want to watch that one episode of the black people that were enslaving other black people." And I was like, "What? What? What were we watching?" And I thought about it, and I'm like, "Oh, we did watch this one pilot for this show with Cuba Gooding."
I'm glad he finally got a job. But go ahead.
The Book of Negroes, right? And so it gets to episode 2, and they start talking about General Washington. Man, this show is exactly about everything we just talked about. And I figure if it's like one of the top 10, like new thriving shows on Hulu right now, then that means that pop culture knows that George Washington was a slave owner. Pop culture knows this. So why, when we get into those, it was just a blessing to see and to hear from y'all perspective too, like where it was, because had I not known, I would have thought that I was just being super duper ethnocentric.
Now, I want to put this out to you, right? It wasn't the fact that they didn't know that George Washington. The question wasn't whether or not George Washington had slaves or not. The question was whether or not they wanted to discuss that or felt that it was appropriate to you know what I'm saying? So, you know what I'm saying? So you're dealing with, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, don't deal with it from the angle like they don't know that. They know that. I'm quite sure they know that. But they don't want that necessarily discussed in front of all of their kids. You know what I'm saying? Which supports their narrative. You know what I'm saying? Which support the narrative that they're trying to get across to the children. And you doing, you know what I'm saying? I have to salute you for standing up and making sure that your voice is heard and that at least part of our story is being told in that. See, because far as us moving towards talking to people about reparations and motivating our children to move into positions of power and politics, and then even in going the whole other way and becoming revolutionary like some of us on this line, right? And maybe not being able to get in those positions. You know what I'm saying? But telling our narrative so that people can't act like they don't know that America was built on the backs and over the bones of our ancestors. And we always have to stress that. You know what I'm saying? Our children have to ask questions like, or bring up points that your son brought up, so that it's always in the public eye. So now everybody do know that George Washington owned slaves, but now what we got to force them to reckon with is, what does it mean that the first president of this country had our people in bondage? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Is there a that old? You know what I'm saying? So that's the next progression for us, because now with your son bringing it up and it's getting into popular culture, I don't want motherfuckers just to just get caught on the fact of, yeah, we recognize that America was built on slave labor and that we are on stolen land, but that was way in the past. That doesn't affect you now. Bullshit. Now we need to make sure that we take it to the next level to let them know that there's some repairs that need to be had that was never given, and we have to be able to hold their feet to that. And you're taking a monumental step in that, because now you saying, listen, this shit, if it's not in your curriculum, it needs to be in your curriculum, and we need to understand not just what George Washington had to do with that, but what did every other president have to do with all the shit that followed George Washington? All the laws that they enacted in this country to limit our participation and limit our ability to compete. You understand what I'm saying? And I always go back to the ties. You know what I'm saying? My grandfather was able to leave me ties, family. My grandfather, you know what I'm saying? This is all after all the years of work. After all the generations that we've been here, I got ties passed down to me, God damn it. And it wasn't because my grandfather didn't have hustle. It wasn't because my grandmother didn't have hustle. It wasn't because, you know what I'm saying, because there is something that is going on that we are not dealing with. And we're not allowing people to deal with. We're not making people feel uncomfortable. You're making them feel uncomfortable because they don't want to discuss it. Now we got to make them feel uncomfortable. We're going to have to move to the level where now we're making them feel uncomfortable because they don't want to do anything about it. They, you know, so I'm sorry. Right. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to go off and shit. You know what I'm saying? Because that reparations and that, you know what I'm saying, when we start talking about slavery and shit, and I don't even like using the term fair. You know what I'm saying? The head start that these motherfuckers got on us, that these individuals, that these people got on us.
Yeah, I saw in your pupils, man. You was like shell shocked for a second. You like went straight, like you was straight up on some Alex Haley just did.
No, I was a little bit deeper than Alex Haley, because Alex Haley was happy with where he was. I'm deeper than, you know what I'm saying? My shit is deeper than that. You know what I'm saying? My shit is the fact that for generations, family, I just want you to think about this. For generations, our people have been iced out. You know what I'm saying? When we made political progress, snatched and destroyed. When we made economic progress, snatched and destroyed. You know what I'm saying? Some of us, we might not know it. We got individuals in our family that may have been lynched because they were successful and because they was trying to do things the right way. But nobody want to talk about that. They want to make it look like we're shiftless and we haven't been hustling hard enough. I'm not on that shit. I'm not on it. You know what I'm saying? I used to watch my grandfather get up every morning at about 4:30 in the morning so that he could go out and he could hustle every day. I had uncles who had to get up early in the morning so they could get out and hustle every day. And I ain't talking about no illegal hustles and shit. You know what I'm saying? And now my grandfather make it to the end of his life and all his shit is gone.
Right.
All of it? All of it. So he wasn't hustling. See, because what we allow people to do, we allow people to change the narrative and change how we see how that narrative affect us. So now we got our children thinking that we're in the position we in because we was lazy. We're in a position we was in
Right.
because we wasn't go-getters. We're in a position we're in right now because we didn't try politics. We're in a position we was in because we didn't understand economics. You can't tell me. See, listen. Average African American income, Native Black American, between 39,000 and 42,000. That's the median. Average white income, 168,000. You mean to tell me that these motherfuckers out hustle us like that? That's some bullshit. You know what I'm saying? And we have to really, we have to start stressing that. We got to make people feel uncomfortable with that. Hold on, somebody put in, we need to deal with making white folks do right or doing right for us, for ourselves. They will never do right by us. Now, I'm going to say this about that. It ain't about what they're going to do. It's about what we make them do. You know what I'm saying? This is, we got to do, I ain't never, and I don't want nobody ever say coming out of my mouth that we are relying on them to have a change of heart. What I'm saying, because one of my teachers used to teach me about both and, not either or. As African people, we learned how to look at things both and. I'm saying both. I'm saying we have to be able to politically make these motherfuckers do what they supposed to do and economically get it. We got to do both of them. We can't do one. They're not exclusive of each other because you can't really amass economic power if you don't have political power. Because once you amass the economic power and you don't have the political clout to protect it and the military to protect it, they'll come in and snatch that shit from us. Somebody else, this is probably saying, we need to continue to tell our story for sure to keep our narrative alive, but do we make them uncomfortable to address our needs or make ourselves, our community uncomfortable to meet our needs? See, once again, that's going, I believe that's going into the narrative that we ain't doing enough.
Wait, no, well, let me just chime into the principle of discomfort. Is that your comfort zone, and I got this from the network, your comfort zone is a beautiful place, but nothing grows there. So if you want growth, you have to make people uncomfortable with the truth until they find themselves in alignment with it. And if they are uneasy still, they have to live with that. You don't. But what I always say, especially when I know that it's only a matter of time before they see that perspective because of how the universe is, I always tell them, what you fail to learn at my expense, adversity will teach you at your own. And in so many ways, that's just really, that's been affirmed all throughout today. Even beyond the whole, because, I know, well, I won't get into all of that, but you understand what I mean? That we have to make them uneasy. We have to make our people. We have to make each other uneasy. Until we are confident that what we bring to the table is substantial and is our best. Because in these times, that's exactly what's required.
I don't know who's on the Gye-Nyame, but they say you can't make nobody do nothing, especially those that don't want us to live. Now, I'm going to challenge that. Because I don't want to pay taxes, but motherfucker, that shit is coming out before I get my money. I mean, you know what I'm saying? So you can make some people do things, especially when there's a system and a process there. What we have to do is master the process. What we have to do is get the political piece working in our community again. You know what I'm saying? We have to become a little bit more cognizant about what we do with our votes. We got to be, you know what I'm saying, as well as where we spend our money. They're not mutually exclusive. We got to use them hand in hand. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, yo, you know what I'm saying? And then on top of that, we got to really start preparing ourselves, because one of the things I see with us is that we're not really physically getting ready, right? You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, we get, our community, because we're so spread out and we really don't have a community, it's kind of easy to intimidate us into going with an agenda that don't necessarily suit us. We're being forced to do shit that we don't want to do all the time. I'm saying, let's spread the pain, goddammit. You know what I'm saying? I mean, we being forced to do shit that we don't want to do all the time. Some of the choices we have to make on a daily basis, we do because we have to do, not because we want to do. So you can make people do what they don't want to do. And it's just a matter of us coming up with the proper formula. I'm not saying I got the proper formula. I'm just saying we got to start having these conversations, because my issue is, look, there's no reason why a motherfucker need to be, and especially when it comes up to issues like this, there's no reason that a politician need to leave our community feeling comfortable at all. That motherfucker need to be, questions need to be thrown out so that we can see who we dealing with and how we dealing with. You know what I'm saying? Why we dealing with and how we dealing, how we got to deal with
the beautiful thing about where we are in this conversation, let alone the narrative, is when I ask the question, what do you do? What do you do when you identify a turtle on a post? This is where we take the narratives that we've been discussing and deciphering and, cataloging, and we come up with, what is it in terms of behavior that we need to exemplify to be able to change that behavior that we identify with as detrimental into a more positive behavior. How do we identify with that process if not through discomfort?
But hey, what we're gonna do now is we are gonna get into these proverbs, because I done got on my damn I got on my soapbox, and I done, All right, here we go. Day 20. Proverb 1. Power concedes nothing without a demand. It never did and it never will. Frederick Douglass. Number 2. It is easy to sit up and take notice. What is difficult is getting up and taking action. Honoré de Balzac. I don't know who that is, but I like that. And the last one is invite people into your parlor and it will come into your bedroom. That's from Sierra Leone. All right, Shaka, you pick a number from 1 to 3 and we're going to hit it.
Number 1.
Power concedes nothing without a demand. It never did and it never will. You want it first, or you want me to get it first? And feel free to post up comments, y'all. You want it first, or you want me to hit it first?
You go ahead, man.
Power concedes nothing without a demand. Family, in our lives, what we're gonna run up, what we often run into is a conundrum, where we feel that people are going to do the right thing because it's the right thing. But people usually don't do the right thing unless you force them. Especially when they're in power. Right? Because I want to conserve the power. I want to keep the power. I want to hold on to it. So usually people with power do not want to deal with what you are saying. So what you have to apply is a demand. You know what I'm saying? And when you demand some shit, right, you need to be able to back up your demand. You need to be able to protect your demand, right? And in many cases, what we do is we got people that want to demand shit, but they haven't done the work prior to the demand. You know what I'm saying? We come into a meeting or we come into a area where we haven't really surveyed the playing field. And we make a demand and get crushed because we made the demand. But some of us got to realize, family, that part of the struggle that we have, and I'm going to tell you part of the problem for many of us. Many of us want to be at the victory celebration. We want to partake in the victory march. When the fact of the matter is that when you're having a battle, whether it's with weapons or whether it's with ideas, that everybody is not going to make it. Everybody's not going to be able to be at the victory celebration. And we have to understand that power is going to do whatever it can to stay where it is. But we have to let power know what we want. And we have to be very clear. And we have to be willing to sacrifice to get it. Period. You know what I'm saying? When our people were enslaved and those that wanted freedom, they demanded that shit. When they knew they couldn't demand it strictly by voice, they demanded it with their feet and their actions. Right? A demand don't mean that I'm just going up and I'm yelling what I want. Sometimes a demand is demonstrated by the actions that you take. And it's time for us to start it's time for us to start. We want our portion of money. We start getting it, and we start putting people in positions that can voice what we want. And we put the veil of protection around them. You touch them, you got to touch these other 100,000 people out here, homie. So a motherfucker really got to make a critical choice. You know what I'm saying? Because so when we make demands, we have to make sure that we are organized enough in order to protect that demand and protect those that are the voice of the people. What we often do is we allow the voice to go out there after we've been in our little private rooms, and the voice, somebody finally get bold enough to come out and be like, that's some bullshit. This is what we need. This is what's supposed to happen. And all of a sudden, we all back up and just watch what happens. You know what I'm saying? Motherfucker die, we just put their name on a t-shirt for a week and shit, and then, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? We cry about it for a little while, or you can watch somebody's career crush because we know that they're standing up for what we wanted, but we allow them to be the fucking scapegoat. Going out there and see what happens. Go out there and see if bastard gonna give it to us. Rather than organizing and forcing the hand. You know what I'm saying? This go hand in hand with what Harriet Tubman said, before I be a slave, I'll be buried in my grave. At some point in time, when you're making a demand, when you making a demand, you got to be willing to you have to be you got to be willing to put it on the line. Not just as an individual, but as a group. You got to be willing to put it on the line. You got to be willing to hear the no. And be like, well, we gonna make this shit happen because I disagree with shit ain't no, matter of fact, there ain't no motherfucking no. So I'm sorry, go ahead, Sean.
Oh man, I did all that laughing and dramatic stuff, and I forgot what I was supposed to say. Go ahead.
All right, so basically, what Frederick Douglass was talking about was a fact. So and Marcus Garvey put out a little book after he went through the ordeal in America. And in the book, I can't remember the name of the book. Anybody that has the name of the book, please put the name of the book up online. But he produced a little book where he said he wanted to make a bunch of little Marcus Garveys. And one of the things he talked about in the book was negotiation. When you go to a table to negotiate, first off, unless you have some power, there's no negotiation. There's only begging. And in a sense, we have been begging because we want to hold on to what we have and we want to hold on to our lives. But at some critical point, we got to decide that what we're holding on to is not of value and be willing to put everything up on the line. Because when you negotiate, you got to be able to show somebody. Like, for example, the reason that America will negotiate with Russia, America will negotiate with China, but will not negotiate with Cuba. It will not negotiate with African countries. There's no negotiations. America say, we got this, and this is what we want to do. Africa say, well, We would not, no, shut up. And they move it in. Power negotiates with power. Family.
You know,
but hold on. Somebody said, now why putting faith in this political and capitalist system and their players? Right, because one can't do it. We need a squid to infiltrate the system, or they will be taken in and down. I don't understand. Kind of define that. See, because it ain't about even putting faith in the goddamn system. It's about me putting faith. What I'm talking about is putting faith in us. Right? I mean, because it's like, you know, we, family, the reality is we live in this shit. We're living this. And so in some form of fashion, we have to participate. Go ahead, Shaka.
You know, when I look at the detriment that has been caused in my own existence, and I look at, you know, no matter how she turned out, how, you know, 15 years without her father in her life, how the quality of life for my daughter has diminished, and just that. And when I look at the fact that I just found out today that even though I had resolved certain things across the board in the eyes of the court, there was an actual piece on the docket that showed a felony through a non-support. Now, I've never had a felony of non-support. However, with this showing up in the docket in Franklin County, every time I apply for a job, a house, or anything, that's been on there. And so I learned this today through Lake County Sheriff as they're, you know, getting my permit together, right? And when I find this out, it's just so ridiculous how underhanded the system can go to vilify and conspire against us. And when it comes down to what ended up happening today, is me calling down there and letting them know that this is, you know, what was it, the BCI, Bureau of Criminal Identification. Let them know that this felony was showing up on my record. All they did, and it took 5 minutes for them, was to delete it because they saw that it was fraudulent. But now that I have evidence that that's been there for the past 8 years, what am I to do? Because it wasn't me that put it there. It wasn't even me that signed it. But I have a signed copy that was printed out at East Lake in Lake County today. So I bring all of this up because when you have gone that far to dishonor not only the code that you represent in the system, but what you have caused in my life, that is personal. That is absolutely personal. And when it comes to the fact that I've seen the same treatment with my father, that's definitely a personal thing, and I cannot deal with it any other way. And so when we talk about negotiation and leverage, the time that has been taken from my daughter and I, no one can repay. There's no monetary figure that's going to make that right. However, because there's no monetary figure, that means that whatever I demand is power right now. Whatever I demand is letting you know that because of your dishonor, because of your disregard, and because of your imposition, you owe me. And for the rest of this lifetime, until that's paid, this is my duty to make sure that my children's children are feeding and feasting from how this thing is settled out, because it's you know, and this is why our nation built. Because when I talk about my children's children, I'm talking about your children's children, and all the descendants of what I consider tribes.
Because everything we do has to be for them. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, so I read this, and I misunderstood it. They said now, so Gye-Nyame Journey said, now why are we putting faith in this political and capitalistic system and their players? Right, because one can't do it. We need a squad to infiltrate the system, or they will be taken in and down. And we can see that's happening. You know, because we got a lot of people who we thought was black that are showing us that they're just dark white. Their mind state is not of the mind state for our people, and we need to start training our young people and getting them principle systems so that when and helping them develop their character and help them become what's the term, and help them be able to become help them build up their integrity, their wholeness. Because a lot of times what we end up doing, we send people who are unwhole into the system. And they go into the system unwhole. So it's easy for an unwhole person to be brought out because they're constantly seeking to be made whole. You know what I'm saying? The best thing that can happen to somebody in power is for somebody unwhole to come to them and make a demand, because all I got to do is pay you off. Somebody said, right, negotiate or begging. We got to get to the point of having a player and a position power to negotiate and not worry about survival or death. And that's very true. You know what I'm saying? I mean, because a lot of us, we're concerned with that. So when you make a demand, when you place a demand on power, you got to understand that they coming at you, family. You got to understand that. A lot of us, you know, we got the Malcolm X Festival come up. We'll quote Marcus Garvey. You know what I'm saying? We'll talk about what Martin Luther King did. We'll talk about Frederick Douglass. We talk about Harriet Tubman. But what we don't talk about is the actual struggle in the fact that they made, once they made a demand, the actual hell that happened. The actual hell that broke loose upon their lives. The confusion that came into their lives because they made a demand. You know what I'm saying? We read and we think that it's supposed to be roses. You know what I'm saying? But we know Brother Malcolm caught a bullet. We know Martin Luther King caught a bullet. We know Harriet Tubman had a hard life. We know Frederick Douglass, you know what I'm saying, started having a hard life. We know W.E.B. Du Bois, after he started making demands, basically had to leave this country. We know Marcus Garvey had to leave this country. All of us that stood up, all those in our lineage, all those that's within our people that stood up, caught hell. And we got to understand, family, the way that you beat hell is not as an individual, but it's as a group. See, because with a group, as an individual, when I go to hell, it's just fire. You know what I'm saying? It's just fire. I'm just suffering. But as a group, we turn hell into heaven. We transform it into what we will. You know what I'm saying? But right now, we got motherfuckers rolling solo. And you've been taught to be solo. You know what I'm saying? Sister Tiana just say Nina Simone. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, yo, you know what I'm saying? We sending motherfuckers as individuals. We sending unwhole individuals. We need to make sure that the integrity of our young people, the integrity of ourselves, you can't, you know what I'm saying? You can't buy them off. You know what I'm saying? We got people that's getting into positions of power and because of a position or a pay raise or a car or some sex, they will sell us down the river. Because they're leaving us unwhole. They're being taught that your people didn't hustle hard enough. You're on the wrong team. You're not the same as all of them. You know what I'm saying? So when they go and make the demand, You know what I'm saying? You making a demand for the people, but hey, let me holler at you real quick. How about this? Look behind that curtain. And because they're not whole, they can be bought off. I just wrote on the same thing moments ago, Ashe. That's Sister Tiandra. Family, we have to be clear. You know what I'm saying? So when we make a demand, right, we got to make it with integrity. We got to be not make it with integrity. We have to exist in an integrity state. We got to be whole. We got to understand. I mean, because really, man, I mean, power goes to war in many different forms. If they can't buy you, then they kill you. But if you're worried about death, see, this is why they can't negotiate with Al Qaeda. This is why they can't negotiate with ISIS. You know what I'm saying? You can't negotiate with somebody. Either you got to heed their demands or you got to kill them. When somebody take it in their mind state, oh, you only gonna get rid of my body, but I'm coming back. There's over 40 million of us here. Over 40 million. And the only reason it hasn't changed is because we haven't made it. We haven't demanded as a group. We allow the fuckery within what's going on with us fuck up everything. We allow the lack of integrity to tear everything up. We allow motherfuckers without integrity to rise, even though we can recognize it because they can speak good or because they're clever or because they're funny. You know what I'm saying? You know, in the last 20 years, you know what I'm saying, a lot of the people coming out the leadership class are fucking entertainers. How you gonna act? You know what I'm saying? What other people could you go and ask? And no offense, Shaka, but what other people could you go and ask an entertainer about the state of their people? And motherfuckers will actually take that shit seriously. Somebody from Gye-Nyame say, correct. If we don't build ourselves up, have our back, and hold us accountable based on all we know, we will be shut down or sell out to live. Thus, the focus needs to be on our self-building nation, building in order to have and be respected in order to properly demand. We got both and work to do. We see, and all I'm saying is, family, not either or, both and. Both and. You know what I'm saying? Both and.
You know what, man? I feel the same way about artists sometimes when they're just strictly, you know, I mean, you might be integral in your craft as an artist. That doesn't mean that you really represent, you know, the movements or anything integral as an activist or revolutionary. You know, some people wear, you know, it's I know a lot of folk in the hood that love rocking fatigue. Come on now. Who is really taking steps to, you know, to maintain leverage in this war? Who even recognizes, you know, that we are in the trenches doing the work that we do, when they just doing what they do, and they're totally oblivious to the work that we do. You know, if it's not, you know, go ahead.
No, go ahead, because I was about to say, not even totally oblivious of what we do, totally oblivious of the fact that there are even trenches. We have been in the trenches so long that we done turned those into homes. We living on the front lines, right. And a lot of us living on the front lines and don't even understand we're on the front lines. They talking about doing food boxes, family. Have you seen this shit? They talking about doing food boxes, and this is what I'm talking about, right? Power concedes nothing without a demand. These motherfuckers is gonna turn around and send out food boxes instead of giving people the snap cards and shit like that. And I'm just knowing the mentality that our people have been forced into, cornered into. Where do you think the first place our people gonna go when they want something? I want y'all to think about that. See, because this is why I keep on trying to. I'm trying to let people know this is deeper than just the academic shit. This is deeper than just philosophy. Let's say they launched these boxes, and motherfuckers can't get the food stamps no more, and they want something. Where they gonna go to get it, Shaka?
They gonna go to you. They gonna go to their neighbors.
What happened when you can't give it to them, Shaka? And they see you might be eating a bag of Doritos that they want. You know what I'm saying?
They gonna rob and take it.
So family, and this is why I'm saying it's deeper than academics, because this shit is about their head home. My question is, who's your tribe? And who gonna have your back when motherfuckers want? Because you got to understand, man, and I got this off of Vet Cornell, but I had to think about this shit. Food is an addiction. They have been feeding you.
Man, we need to watch Beat Street, yo.
You know what I'm saying? They've been feeding you stuff that you're addicted to. What happens when a whole population, a whole group of us can't get their addiction? They're going to start doing shit within the areas where we live. Who gonna protect you? Who gonna protect the elders? Who gonna protect you? Who got your back? This is deeper than academics. A nigga that's reading a book, excuse my language. You know what I'm saying? That's all you do. You can't help me. You out of shape. I'm just saying. You know what I'm saying? It's about to get real. And I thank God. Sister G, I'm just saying, I need y'all. I need us. I agree. There's no way to do it alone. And we got to realize that. You know what I'm saying? Our struggle has never been alone. We have never been alone people. We understand.
Yo.
Oh,
Yo.
go
ahead.
She said there are days. She said there are days I can't wait to hear from you and share energy and purpose. And then somebody, Gye-Nyame Journey, said again, they have changed how we define our idols, who they are and look like, and we lost so much self-respect and consciousness to go for this. You know what I'm saying? They're controlling the narratives of our lives from the beginning to the end. Go ahead.
I'ma just say this out loud, yo. Like, I don't know if y'all realize how much we all need Beat Street in our lives. Are y'all kidding me? I mean, come on now. When we do this movie thing, I think we should watch Beat Street. And I know that came out of like real left just then, but I just gotta let y'all know. Listen. The type of unity, the type of innovation, the type of people that we are. I mean, here's a story how this stranger, this weirdo at that, comes into the city and connects with hip-hop music because he's banging on the pipes in the basement of an abandoned unit where they having a party upstairs, where they had to jump outside and grab the electric to get the turntables to working, right?
Right.
Where they brought the party in an abandoned spot with, risk their lives to get the electric up in this joint, and they meet this dude, he ain't got nothing. Yo, come over my house, I got you on a sandwich, or whatever the case. Or we can take this abandoned spot right here and make it yours. You know what I mean? Grab you some furniture so that you feel like you at home. You know what I mean? You got a place to lay your head. Now, this is the type of love, man, and I feel like we need to revisit that era of hip-hop where it made sense that we had that love for each other. It made sense that because of the action, and then, you see a little bit of how the industry does, you know what I mean, with the Ray Dawn Chong character, taking, hip-hop, breaking, from a street thing into this whole other echelon in the arts, you know what I mean? And we have to celebrate that to an extent, too, because without that, there would be no Rennie Harris. There would be no Illadelph Legends. There would be no Roman Jewel. You understand? So, we got to get to the point where we understand the value of hip-hop. We understand the value of integral artists. And integral artists are compassionate people, and that's what connects them with their cause? Is there compassion? Is there, level of influence to be able to create a change in a behavior? But we got too many artists out here faking the funk like they got the answer, or just as kumbaya, like how you say, without soliciting a new behavior. That's why that those who had those bracelets first, the something strong bracelets that everybody was wearing, because he promoted a change of behavior. Like, if you want to celebrate my cause, just wear this bracelet. And all of a sudden, everybody's wearing these bracelets. For pink ones for kids. You know what I mean? And we have something to celebrate. We have to sometimes, in that sense, let people know how to celebrate us. They have to
control
go
that.
out to the movie. Go ahead.
We have to control that. See, because what we do is we just let it go. And when you look at the heart of hip hop culture is African culture. It's us. You know what I'm saying? It's us moving up through the struggle. You know what I'm saying? But we know many of us no longer want to be us, and we got to remember, because even when you look at Beat Street, the one thing was clear was that most of the individuals that was doing the breaking and the rapping and all that wasn't doing it because they was looking to get paid. They was doing it because they loved it.
Yeah.
Most of when you look at the artists today, or you look at kids right now, what do you want to be when you grow up? I want to be a musician, or I want to be a rapper, I want to be a singer, I want to be a football player.
I mean,
wait. You ask them, why do you want to do it? Because they make a lot of money. Where is the love?
And look at it, man. Who really loved Ramo? Right? Ramo, all he did was his art. He lived through his art. That's who used to make it on top of the buildings just to see his art at the right time of day. Understand, his message was moving through the city. That's huge, yo. His dad didn't want him to just be a starving artist. You know what I mean? And so, man, Ramo's story is, come on, we gotta do this, y'all. So I don't know where y'all at on the movie vote, but my vote is with Beat Street. I'll make a trip for that.
Well, the movie for next week, my fault. We will be doing School Days. School Days won the vote. School Days won the vote. So next Kuumba, which is, because I don't feel like doing no push-ups, which is 3/24. I think that's the 24th. We will be doing School Days. You know what I'm saying? I will be sending out all the information for that, and we will have a discussion after the movie. And then, in the next run, we're going to put up Beat Street, but I'm quite sure Beat Street is hot. Beat Street is hot, but I don't know if it's hotter than Sankofa.
Hey, let me just put this joint out here. All right, now, on that day, from the 22nd to the 25th, Naka is going to be in Cleveland with an exclusive program that wherever you are in trying to purchase a home, you'll walk away with an approval. All right? And if you haven't seen the memo, if 4 of us get approvals, we can combine them and create and get into a more substantial mixed-use property. So I'm just putting that out there. This is one of those opportunities that we can really, expand with some territory for real. If we did work together and put our money, I'll put my money with y'all money. Let's own a block. We can do this right now. And so Naka, I've been a member for a few years and ain't bought a house yet. I'm saying it's time, and I've been holding out for a reason. I've been holding out, I think, for y'all. So, I'm letting y'all know. If it's that big for you, then let's make some things happen.
School Days won. School Days had 9 votes.
Lawrence Fishburne.
9 votes. Yeah, he was in there, and The Wiz had 5, And
I'm so glad.
what, the Wiz didn't win?
Oh yeah, man.
The
Man,
Wiz
you
was
know how
also
many
just,
times since Pharaoh has been on this planet I've seen the Wiz?
yeah, man. But I mean, all those movies, all the movies that was in the final running are real good for conversation, just like these proverbs. So we kind of went to that. Sister Tiandra said she's pouring out a little for the homies that's dead and gone, pouring libations for our ancestors. CeeLo is like, it did. She talking about the movie. Yep, School Days won. School Days won. All right, let's move to, you got, pick a number between 2 and 3.
Oh, me or CeeLo?
CeeLo, a number between 2 and 3. Who is that? Alexa? Alexa, what time is it? All right, CeeLo, if you would put up a number before I ask Alexa, pick a number between 2 and 3. Uh-oh. What'd she say?
Let's say she say 3.
Wow, CeeLo said 3 too. Invite people into your parlor and they will come into your bedroom.
Give them an inch, they take them out.
There you go.
They give them a rope, they want to be a cowboy.
There you go. There you go. Invite someone into your parlor and they will be in your bedroom. So, I mean, go on, Shaka. You done? Is that what you're going to drop on it? That's all you're going to drop on it?
That's all I'm going to say on that one.
Listen, family. This right here is one of the reasons I'll be always talking about initiation, because you need to know who you allow into your space.
Yes.
You need to know who you allow into your space. Because
speak on it.
Because family history has taught us that everybody is not the same as us. Everybody don't think like us, and everybody don't think like you, and everybody don't think like me. So when you invite somebody in, see now what's even deeper about this shit here? The parlor is the parlor, and the bedroom is the bedroom. But for some people, it don't make a difference because all they see is property. All they see is an opportunity. Right. They don't give a damn about your privacy. They want to take it to the next level. So you have to be careful about who you invite into your house, who you invite into your space. Those that can make change are empowered and got mad love for what they do or about. We got to get love and re-empowered to control our narrative, negotiate, and anything else successful. But both and work. Both and work. Build ourselves constantly up while being strategic and systematic, or doing it systematically. That's from Gye-Nyame Journey. That Gye-Nyame Journey is pretty insightful. You know what I'm saying? All right. But so you have to be careful who and what you invite in, family. I mean, that's just the wisdom behind it right now. Because if you have somebody that you already know what to expect from them. So in a sense, you can invite, whether or not to invite them in. But at one point in time, like for example, if you look at the symbol for Haytep or Hotep, which means peace or a deep state of peace, in Kemet, it was a mat and a loaf of bread. Now, if I'm wrong, somebody correct me. A mat and a loaf of bread, right? Because you're supposed to offer is a tradition of our people. It's a tradition of people all over the world that when a visitor comes, you have to make them comfortable. But through our experience, through the incursions from the West Asians, through the incursions from the Central Asians, you know what I'm saying? After thousands and thousands of years of slamming our head against the wall, we finally realized that when you invite somebody in your parlor, the next step for them is your bedroom. They're not going to stop. So you got to be careful. Sometimes sometimes you don't let some people through your front door. You don't let some energies enter your space, because it ain't just people. It's the energy that flows with it. So when you allow it in your parlor, and this is what's even deeper for me, right? Mythology, right? The only way a vampire could get into your crib. I want you to think about this. This is the myth behind. The only way a vampire was allowed in your crib is if you invite him. I want to say that again. The only way a vampire was allowed into your home was that he had to be invited. What does a vampire do once he get in your home? He sucks the blood or the life resource of everybody in there. What happened to us? Could we be fucking with some vampires? I don't know. But it seems like...
Brother Hot Tip.
Yes, sir.
Are you insinuating? Because I think I hear something, but I'm not sure that I hear what I think I hear. So I'm going to ask you if what I hear is what you're trying to put out there. Is that, are you telling me that those intruders who invaded Africa and enslaved our people, brought them back over here, are you telling me that in some form or fashion they were invited?
Oh, dude, think about it. When they landed on the shores and couldn't go inland, how did the so-called slave castles get there? That was space given to them. They come in. I mean, yeah, we invited them in. Oh my God, without a shadow of a doubt, because that was our responsibility. You're supposed to take care of a guest, aren't you? I mean, your grandma when your grandma was alive, she still did it. You know what I'm saying? This is part of our tradition. Hell, the deepest type of peace we knew was a bread and a mat for somebody to sit down. So when it came there, you had to make sure they had water and you had to make sure they had bread. What do you think we did when we found other humans out there suffering? We invited them in. I thought you was gonna go on the whole other end, family. I mean, think about it. Native Americans invited them in, allowed them to set up land, and they took all that shit. You know what I'm saying? Somebody, Gye-Nyame said, with our colonialism, we've lost use of our senses. And that's what colonialism does, because the only way that the system can continue to work is if the people that are colonized are driven crazy. The only way that they can stay on top of us is if we are crazy. Or as they said in The Spook Who Sat by the Door, there is no way that this country could police the world and keep us on our ass unless we cooperate. In a sense, family, I want y'all to think about this. You have been domesticated. As a people, we are not crazy. We have been domesticated. What does that mean?
Tail cropped. 2 claws removed.
You said who?
I said tail cropped, 2 claws removed, like a pet, you know?
Really, when it comes down to it, I want y'all to think about this. What does a domestic animal waits for the bidding of the master. He serves as a beast of burden or as food for the master and just waits. All you got to do is build up a little simple fence, because you see those fences. You don't think a bull in his right mind will run that shit over. A cow in his right mind will run that shit over. Chickens should be running free. You know what I'm saying? So we got to be clear, family. We've been domesticated so that our economic life can be drained from us. Our mental health can be drained from us. Right? You know what I'm saying? So that you can, you know what I'm saying, they can eat us economically. They can eat us politically. They can eat us, you know what I'm saying? And you know what I'm saying? We're domesticated and we're just standing in the gate. You know what I'm saying? Actually, we ain't even wild animals, because a wild animal, when you put them into a cage, a wild animal will start developing certain tics because it used to being free. So if you go to a zoo and you see an animal rocking side to side, that means that animal knew freedom. We don't even rock no more.
Mm-hmm.
We've been totally domesticated. You know what I'm saying? We many of us. So what we have to do is we have to, you know what I'm saying? We have to get back and start experimenting with some of the wild parts of us. I ain't talking about the crazy wild. I'm talking about, you know, you know what I'm saying? What made us different? What made us unique? What made it possible for us to do the things that we did? And it wasn't us being domesticated by somebody else.
Are you talking artistically?
Artistically?
Is it expressing yourself honestly?
Dude, oh yeah. Learning, see, but first we got to learn ourselves. You can't express yourself honestly if you have been taught your whole life to operate outside yourself.
Can I quote Drake?
I guess. Go ahead. I'm not going to stop you. I'm not a Drake fan.
No, I'm just saying. Is that expressing myself honestly?
Oh no,
I don't know no Drake lyrics just for that.
Oh, I thought I was right. You know what I'm saying? So we have to be very clear, family. You know what I'm saying? You can't express yourself.
I ain't that thirsty for knowledge.
I'm just saying you can't express yourself honestly if you don't know yourself. And we got people trying to express themselves honestly, and then you know what I'm saying. And the question we have to ask is, are you really expressing? Is that you that you're expressing? Or are you really a light-skinned white person? My fault. A dark-skinned black person. My fault. A dark-skinned white person. My fault.
Dark-skinned.
You know what I'm saying? Or you know what I'm saying? Are you expressing all of the lessons that have been taught to you over and over again, that have been reinforced in the institutions that you came up through? You know, because I often have to look at myself and ask. Maybe I try to be honest with me. You know what I'm saying? Because I have to figure out, I'm 50 and I still have to figure out where I stand on this. When the
last time you lied to yourself out there?
Probably yesterday.
Okay. Go ahead.
You know what I'm saying? Shit. I mean, you asked. Shit. Probably yesterday. You know what I'm saying? Some of us been lying so long, we don't even recognize that we lying anymore. Shit. You know what I'm saying? And you know, so you tell a lie long enough, it becomes the truth.
Right.
That's what happened to us. The lies have been told so long that now that shit is true. All right, family. I'm not going to hold y'all up any longer with the rantings of an old man and his little brother and shit. All right?
We got one more.
Oh, okay. Well, let's do it. One more. Let's do it.
We got one more.
I was about to let y'all go. But hold on. All right, sit back down. We're not done. I don't care if the bell rang. I actually did class like I don't hear. You know what I'm saying? I'll be in the middle of a session with my kids and the phone ring. They be like, Mr. Brown, the phone. I don't give a damn about that phone. You know what I'm saying? It is easy to sit up and take notice. What is difficult is getting up and taking action. God damn it. It is easy to sit up and take notice. What is difficult is getting up and taking action. God damn it. If this one, listen family, if these don't wake you up, if these don't get you thinking, if these don't get you moving differently, we got an issue. Somebody said, again, in order to achieve any on this, we have to build self and our community of self free from lies, free from the lies. Somebody posted up a photo. I'm scared to go to it because it take me off. But somebody could go and look at the photo. But go ahead, Shaka. You want to hit that first, or you want me to hit it?
Yes, that was my photo there, brother Hakim. Let me go.
The one where you wrote on the board?
Yes.
Go ahead.
That's the one. I'm gonna get to it because it's been a long time since I wrote that. Now, keep in mind, if you look at it, it was kind of kind of an artistic creation because I'm actually facing the mirror in a bathroom at a coffee shop with the board behind me. So I actually had to write that entire message backwards. If you see me at the bottom, I'm taking a picture facing forward. So all right, let me get to it. I'm almost there. So I can repeat this aloud for anybody who has not checked that out just yet. What it says on the board is, to whom this may concern. In life, the only thing worse than being speculative in your own destiny is being operative in your own destruction, which is far more common because that takes no effort at all. So, regarding
You're supposed to let that marinate. That was explosive. Let it marinate. There's a paradigm shifter there. That's a paradigm shifter there. Go ahead.
Absolutely. I mean, you care to bounce off that for a second?
Now, because you use the term speculative. Speculative is somebody that sit back and watch. Somebody that takes notice. Somebody that talks, but there's no action taken. Right? But in there being no action taken, you are operating within your own destruction. So in a sense, by not taking action and just being speculative, you are taking actions in your own destruction. And by us being speculative in the sense that Shaka is talking about, we are actually taking action by not taking action. We're making a choice. We're not taking action, and by not taking action, we are destroying ourselves. Now, bringing that back to the proverb, it's easy to sit up and take notice. What is difficult is getting up and taking action. You know what I'm saying? Well, what we have to understand, family, taking action doesn't mean always moving. Sometimes taking an action is just simply making a choice not to take action. You know what I'm saying? So according to what Shaka's saying, Shaka actually, what you're saying kind of completes this statement, because by you not taking action, you are participating in your own destruction. This is what, family, by you not pursuing what it was that you were born to do and using it to uplift your people, you are destroying them. This is why I always start off saying, stop hiding your light, because when you hide your light, what you do is you allow our people to walk around in the dark. And in walking around in the dark, they might be at the cliff edge and they fall to their death. So we have to start taking actions in the direction of what we want. Not just taking notice of what we want, but starting to do it. This is why I tell people, like, you know what I'm saying, be both and, right? At this time, like on Kaumba, we're starting our warrior training, so we're going to be training young people and old people, right? Some of the older people, we're going to be training them on how to work with the young people. Some of the younger people, we're going to be teaching them about their responsibility to their community. Well, we're going to do it with everybody. But we're going to start putting our young people in the mind state where they start understanding the hows and whys of where we are rather than the whats and the whens. You know what I'm saying? So that they can start moving in a direction that puts them in a position to help us move forward. With the older folks, we're going to train them on how to train the young people to do that shit. Right? Taking action. Right? We have to start we have to start training, we have to start communicating, we have to start moving together because we are an organism. Let me say that again. We are an organism and you are a cell within that organism. I am a cell within that organism. And those cells that are doing nothing or going to the contrary are called cancer cells and they need to be removed.
That's deep.
There's no take notice or take action. Gye-Nyame says there is no such thing as not taking action. No action is an action. Christine, Sister CeeLo says spectators speculate fearing the unknown. And this is the issue, family. You got to realize our people thrive in the unknown. There was no pyramids when you started building. There was no map when we started traveling. There was no guide when we first went to war. You know what I'm saying? When we started building homes, there was nobody that did it first. When we started educating, there was nobody that did it first. We thrive in the unknown, and I think one of the things that hold us back is that we honestly keep waiting for somebody to come and teach us because we scared of the unknown. Because we have been taught to become scared of failure. But then I want you to think about, which I said earlier, Harriet Tubman's quote, "Before I be a slave, I'll be buried in my grave." Before she had to go into the unknown. By us fearing the unknown, we become a slave to the circumstances that we are in. By us not taking action, we are showing that we are slaves to the situation which we are in. The only place that freedom is for us is in the unknown. They said back in the past that, as a matter of fact, let me ask you a question. I asked Shaka this question, I asked somebody else this question. Let's say some type of being, I don't know what type of being, but this being was able to demonstrate to you that this being had great power. You don't know whether this being is good or bad, but you know that this being is powerful. I want you to listen to this question. And this being pulls you to the side and says, I can make sure that all the generations that are after you will not suffer. Your generation, your bloodline, your group, your tribe, everybody will prosper. Everybody. But the only thing I need from you is for you to give me your life. But I need you to understand that when you give me your life, you will, in a sense, go to hell. The shit that people will think about you will be so negative and so destructive, it will be disgusting. They won't even pour libations for you. It'll be just horrible. But if you give me your life, I guarantee I had a power. And you know this being had a power. Would you take the deal? Would you be willing to sacrifice everything? Your reputation. Give up everything at this moment right now to make sure that all your future generations, I'm not talking whole, we don't have to go all there. Let's talk about your nieces and your nephews, your sons and your daughters. Would you be willing? Would you make that deal right now? Would you allow yourself to be condemned to whatever hell you believe so that the future generations can do better? Now, I want you to just think about that question because I want you to understand that other people throughout history had to make that damn choice. They had to do shit that may have not been in their heart, but they knew if they didn't do it, that their offspring would not be able to live in the way that they live in. And if you're not willing to make that choice, how do you beat somebody? How do you beat somebody that's willing to do that? I was talking with a brother, I ain't gonna say who it was, and he told me about someone he knew whose family were gangsters. And now she's doing something great for her community. You don't think that deal was made? These are the type of people you're dealing with. It's about loving your people. It's about loving your lineage. It's about loving your bloodline more. Really, really more than you love yourself. See, I mean, because this shit right here is just temporary for us. But we hug it like this is the all. We respect it like it's the all. We treat it like it's the all. Like this little simple lifetime that we have is everything. When you start really looking at how your ancestors looked at life, you will understand why we are in the position, in the sense we are right now. Because they have colonized our mind and they got us thinking that this is all that we have. This life right here, this is all that we have. And because I got you confined in this moment right now, you can't really nation build. Because nation building means that you're going to have to sacrifice for something bigger than you. You're going to have to step on the altar of life. And many of us don't want to step on the altar of life and be like, look, I'll be the sacrifice. I'll put it all on the line. Fuck it, let's do it. But no, like I said, a lot of us want to be at the celebration parade. A lot of us want to be at the victory dance when we win. When in fact, the reason that we haven't been to the victory dance is because many generations before us may have not been willing to make this choice. Because hell is a bad place to be. But family, I have to ask you this, and then maybe we might be able to move on. Can hell really be any worse than the way some of us are living right now? Can hell really be worse?
You know what?
Wait, can hell really be worse than the possible future that's waiting for your children? All right, go ahead, bro. I'm sorry. Don't get me started. Why you ask me shit? Go on, man.
Hey, man. I just thought of a mean twist of a Hollywood joke. Is man, am I in hell? Oh, you in Cleveland. Oh man, you ever see Field of Dreams? It was like, is this heaven? Oh, you're in what? I forgot what city it was in. Oh man, I messed up the whole. You go see Field of Dreams, you get it. But anyways, you were closing.
Yeah, let's read these last little comments. Yes, they loved us more than they loved themselves, and I think the problem may be that we had too many that didn't. But hey, that's
too many cats.
We had too many. We had people who loved the group more than they loved themselves. They loved us more than they loved themselves. But it was so many of us probably hanging on to life because of what we've been taught. Because I told you, we've been domesticated. And in being domesticated, the most important thing is the master. Remember, we just did the story about the fleet and the ox. The ox slaved the way he did just so that he could feel the pat of his master's hand on his head. The flea was wild, and the ox was tame. The ox was domesticated. So for a domesticated being, the master pleasure is everything. No one is coming to save us. Our lives have been taken from us. We must take action in order not to stay in darkness and be free. The Kennedy family.
I agree.
Wait. CeeLo got my thing. The Kennedy family. What you think about that? Gye-Nyame Journey said, truth, life is bigger and greater than what we have been confined to be and colonized to believe. So now, last piece. Let's talk about a colony real quick. What is a colony? A colony is an extension of another place. So when you set up a colony, you set up a place that's sort of that you try to design that place to be like your home. You're going to extract all the resources out of it and use all the resources, all the forces, all the people that come up in that to service the actual kingdom. So not only do you colonize the land, but you also have to colonize the mind. So so that everything that's created, everything that these people are thinking, is for the benefit of the homeland. And if we saying that our mind has been colonized, we have to really step back and look at it and wonder, all these creations that we coming up with, are they working for us or are they working against us? So family, this has been Gye-Nyame Journey. I want to let you know that you are now listening to Gye-Nyame Journey Media. This is a Heart of a Simple production, and this has been Tribal Quotes. And I hope in some form or fashion we have blown up your old paradigm. But Shaka, before we roll, man, I'm gonna give you the last word, because I think by me making fun of Lady J's phone, she didn't come back.
She gone?
Yeah, she ain't never come back.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, listen here, y'all. As y'all see, the world is gonna do what it's gonna do. The rest is up to you. You know what I'm saying right now, like, you know, as much has been going on, even in my personal world, like every single day, I'm feeling great because of my influences. Because, like, you remember how, Tim, when I first was going through this, and I was like, man, 7 years in, I was comparing my own passage with Muhammad Ali in the 7 rounds of the rope-a-dope. I'm like, man, 7 years. Every year, I just got to keep my head in the game and make sure that they don't take that away. You know, because if I let them have that, then I'm wasting time here. And for as long as I needed to, I stood in my position. I stood for what I needed to stand for. And now, in time of great opposition, smile, because it's an opportunity for me to make that stand and to make it, and to not just stand there this time. You know what I mean? I think
right.
that's what it was before, is that I'm gonna take this stand in all opposition, and they're like, all right, go ahead, exhaust yourself. Stress yourself out, if that's the way you're going to do. This time, it's like, you know what? I've seen, I've learned, I've experienced, I've suffered, learned, practiced, I've rehearsed, and now today is today. So the best ain't yet. The best ain't been seen yet. This ain't the finale of nothing. We are at the Act 1. As soon as we take action, we are in the act. So, like I said, the world is gonna do what the world gonna do. Rest of that is up to me and you. Peace.
Ashe. All right, family, I want to thank everybody that took the time to join us. I want to make sure that you understand this Gye-Nyame Journey Media, but also I want y'all to like and share. Let's get the movement. Let's build it up, because we, you know what I'm saying, we're gonna build it up. But then I want to invite everybody to join me for the Daily Toast. When in the morning we salute the ancestors, and as y'all start giving y'all see. If you want it just to be about the toast, y'all got to start sending me ancestors so I can shut up. Because, you know, right now we got about 5 minutes worth of reading of ancestors. So we need to get that up to 20 minutes worth of reading of ancestors. Get it to a point where I got to call my kids down to help me read on a daily basis. Or some of y'all might have to read on a daily basis. I can invite you on the screen. So I'm just saying, I want to thank each and every last one of you. And I invite you out to the Daily Toast. And I will see you in the morning, and we are out. So peace out, Facebook. And peace out, Brother Shaka.
you.